So back in February 27th, I did create this video, Don't Fall for This Big ROFX Forex Trading Trap. I go over all the warning signs in this video about things that are not adding up and why you shouldn't be involved in this company. And there are like little small things that I went over, and you can check out that video in full later on. But certain little things like the drawdown being 0.35%, and the monthly profit being 7.8 in the total gain. Drawdown of 0.35% is just not possible in the Forex trading industry for over years of time. It might be possible over a couple of days or a couple of weeks or maybe even a month, but I've been a Forex trader for over 16 years now, and I know what's possible when it comes to profit numbers and drawdown numbers in this industry. I have trading algorithms of my own. For example, the vigorous algorithm that's been going for 8 months now, or 7 months now. And this has 13% drawdown with a 10.41% profit. So still consistent gains, but not a drawdown of 0.35%. Just not possible in this industry. All right, and also things that I mentioned is that when an algorithm or a tracked account on my FX book doesn't update every 5 minutes or every few minutes, then that's also a big warning sign. And this was the case with ROFX. They would update their MyFX book every 24 hours or so, or 2 times a day. And this is a big warning sign that they're white labeling the broker, which happens to be Esther, whatever small broker this is. And they're white labeling the broker so they can manipulate the stats. It's an easy way to do this through MyFX book, and it's unfortunate because MyFX book knows about this situation, but they don't really fight it. And it's really quite irritating that they don't try to combat this issue with individuals manipulating results through MyFX book. Okay, so ROFX did go under and disappeared, and you can even check out their website if you just go rofx.net, and you'll see that can't be reached. So this website went down a couple weeks ago, and the ratings are come in of this is a scam, and so on and so forth. So if you actually look at the rofx.net and you try to figure out how long they've been in business for, it looks like the domain was created back in 2016, and the domain was expiration date was scheduled for 2024. They actually know that people look at their domain and try to find out information about it to see when it was registered, when's the expiration date. And they usually will have long expiration dates that go many years beyond when they just decide to disappear. So people feel more comfortable about investing with them. So keep that in mind, that if a domain is registered many years in advance, that's probably not a great sign for the company being legitimate, especially when it's an investment company that's based out of, well, Forex trading. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to cover is the multiple trading stats, very consistent over many years of time, and it's basically almost the same amount of profit every single month since 2018. And you know, consistent trading profits are possible. I mean, I just showed you that my algorithm, the Vigorous, is capable of about 1.2 or so % every single month, but also we're dealing with higher drawdown over a longer period of time. And you know, the goal is to keep the drawdown low, but not at 0.35%. All right, so websites like ROFX are all over the place. And one of them, in this type of investment company, whether it's crypto trading or investing in general, is typically called a HYIP, so a high yield investment program. And these investment programs have limited lifespans, basically. And if you go to HYIPexplorer.com, you'll find a lot of these companies. And people try to invest in them early or when they're growing, so they have a good chance at getting or making money or making a profit. So I'm just going to click on the top one right here and show you how these programs actually go about business and how they manipulate people into thinking that this is legit, I'm going to make a bunch of profit. So you can see right on the front page that after one day you can make 120%. Now that seems kind of ridiculous, but what they're actually doing is they're counting the deposits. So they're saying that you can make 20% in one day from starting with just $10. Now these companies will do this, and what people do in general is they'll make a small deposit of, like, say $10, and they'll try out the company to see if they're legit and they're going to get a payout. And what happens is they pay out a lot of deposits in the $10 to $1,000 range, and then what that does is the investor gets greedy and goes all in, and they start depositing larger amounts of 10,000, 20,000, 30, even 100,000 at these companies. And this was what happened basically at ROFX, with people depositing hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars into it. And they have, like, these stats right over here saying that's days in business or days online, total investors, investors online, and they show total investments, which is just these incredible numbers, and then the deposits and the withdrawals that they have done as well over those 793 days. And the thing is that all of these stats over here can be manipulated. Don't fall for this, guys. This is just a website can change all these numbers to anything they want. And they can also manipulate all the deposits that are coming in as well. This ticker that's available on the website is likely not even real. They could be. Some of these could be potentially real, unfortunate people that are investing into these companies. But the thing is that they're most likely not, and you're going to get scammed. So the thing is that they'll do profit over 90 days. They'll increase it. The longer that you keep your money within the company, the more profit potential that you have to come out with. So 90 days means that you'll come out with 2,300%, which is just incredible. And so people start getting the greed in their eyes, and some people have actually been able to get their deposits out, and larger amounts of $5,000, $10,000. But it's basically like going to a casino, and your chances of getting a payout is probably better at a casino than it is at these companies that follow the high yield investment program world. So I would try to avoid using any of these companies as they're very tricky and most likely going to scam you out of all of your money. And it's basically a Ponzi scheme. They try to get a lot of investors in early on, and they try to retain them. But once the money dries up, they just disappear, and they hide all their information and data. Their business information and their location is also misleading and probably not accurate as well. And it's just really stupid to get involved in these companies. And if you're involved in ROFX, I'm really sorry that this happened to you. But this video is to educate you into this investment world with what is actually possible. And ROFX was something that seemed probably a little bit more attainable. It's not 2,000% over 90 days. We're only talking about around 8% profit, which maybe you think is a possible thing. Trading in the forex industry is very difficult, especially with low drawdown, and profits in the 5 to 10% range every single month are possible, but very difficult to do on a consistent basis. I find that profits over 10% a month are just not attainable for a longer period than about a year or maybe a year and a half. But if you're looking for a profit of around 2 to maybe 5% on a monthly basis, that's something that's more attainable on a month after month and maybe year after year. I've seen myself and others that are able to retain profits in the 2 to 5% range for multiple years. So that's something that you should keep in mind when you're looking for investment programs or investment vehicles for your trading or just in general. Okay. ROFX doesn't have a website anymore. It's been taken down. It was ROFX.net. It's disappeared, gone forever. And so I can't really use them as an example. So I'm going to use CoinX as a platform for how these Ponzi schemes go about business. They will typically show you a plan, package plans, right? The longer that you hold your money there, the bigger the payout. This was very similar to how ROFX went about their business plans. With the longer that you held your money there, the larger the payout. And this is a very known Ponzi type of pyramid scheme to limit withdrawals so the company can survive longer. And this is another big warning sign to any company that is offering package plans like that. To holding your money to limit withdrawals is likely going to disappear. All right. So another thing I wanted to cover here is if you search in Google ROFX IPO, you'll see that ROFX actually made a press release, and it got noticed on Yahoo. I'm not sure who they gave it to, but it got picked up by quite a few publications, and one of them, the biggest one, being Yahoo. And this was done back in October 24th of 2020, so just about a year ago. And it shows right here that Berkshire Hathaway was interested in buying ROFX. So, or partially buying ROFX. And I read this press release, and I'm just thinking, this is ridiculous. Why would Berkshire Hathaway be interested in a little company like this? Is it the best trading company in the world? But then I knew that with these package plans and how they went about their business, that this was likely a last-minute push to gain in larger whales to fund the company and push it into another year or so in business. And that's basically what took place. So I actually made a post here or message here on my YouTube channel saying, hey guys, Berkshire, this press release about Berkshire Hathaway purchasing or being interested in ROFX is likely a illegitimate press release to gain more investors. And it's not going to change the outcome. It's still going to likely disappear. There's a lot of issues. They don't have a better business rating. And these kinds of things just don't add up to Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, purchasing ROFX. And a lot of people bought into that. It's unfortunate that they went for the bait, and that's what these companies do. They try to entice. And it's important to not just listen to the press release, even if it's on yahoo.com. Yahoo was stupid for picking this up, but it's hard for them to really know what kinds of companies out there are scams, because not everybody knows about these warning signs that I've been able to pick up on within the forex trading industry or world in general. So these kinds of approaches should be avoided, and again, more warning signs that you should be looking for. I'm now going to show you two different companies that are basically doing the same thing as ROFX, and you should avoid them. I don't know if they're going to turn into a scam or when that's going to happen, but they read Ponzi scheme all over it. So first one I'm going to cover is AlgoFX Arbi. So if you actually go to my FX book and you look under systems and go to most popular, you'll see that this is one of the most popular systems on my FX book, which is saying a lot. That means a lot of people are getting involved in this, and I really fear for the outcome at some point. So this one, again, is looking for a monthly profit of 4.12%. Now that's actually lower than ROFX, and you can see that these guys are kind of adapting. They're figuring out how to manipulate investors or traders because they are starting to be more educated, finding out that less profit is likely more legitimate. And so these guys have figured out that what I told you just a second ago, 2 to 5% every single month is possible, but not with a drawdown of just 0.06%. Doesn't matter if it's an arbitrage system or not. An arbitrage trading system, basically, you're trying to find a discrepancy between two separate brokers on the same pairs, or you're trying to find a discrepancy between two correlated pairs and the price differences that happen with that. Arbitrage systems are possible, and you can profit with them, but 0.06% drawdown over the course of 4 years is just not a thing that's likely in the forex trading world. I don't care how good of a trader you are, because if these results were actually real, you would be more rich than Warren Buffett. Like, seriously, you'd be more rich than Jeff Bezos. I mean, these kinds of results are just incredible, and they would be news everywhere. So you can see here that they're really consistent with what they post, and the drawdown is reasonably low. And then you have this. This is another warning sign. The one that I was talking to you about where it doesn't update. The last updated was 10 days ago, 11 days ago. And they haven't updated any of their stats. So this is two warning signs: low drawdown and the updating not happening at MyFXBook. Sometimes MyFXBook doesn't update the stats because they're having technical difficulties, but if you see a stats being updated every 10 hours or every 24 hours or every few days, that's usually a bad sign for whatever software that you're looking at, or stats, or whoever you're following. Okay, so not great there. So what I'm going to do now for you is we're going to go a little deeper, and we're going to find out that Greta Invest is the broker that they're using. And Greta Invest is this broker here, and they actually have pretty good ratings. Which is surprising, but because it's a smaller broker, but hooray that a smaller broker has decent ratings. But the problem here is if you go under partners, and you'll see that they have a white label. Now, white label gives a lot of power to the individual that's starting a company or starting a trading business, and gives them more control over how they want to approach their trading through whatever the broker software. And so on and so forth. But the problem with white labeling, it gives the user too much power, and they can manipulate their MT4 or MT5 stats using a white label in this way. So when you see a trading algo or an individual using a smaller broker that's overseas, that's not regulated, that doesn't have good reviews, or is using a white label, that's typically not a great sign, and something that you should avoid. Okay, so if you go to AlgoFX Pro's website, which looks actually pretty nice, and there's a lot of tracked accounts here. You can see that their prices for the subscription, for their algorithms, and so on and so forth. But I found another MyFXBook page, and this is actually posted on their website. And if you go to their tracked accounts, you'll see that, well, they have actual tracked accounts, but this time the drawdown is showing much higher, 57% drawdown over the course since 2018, which is not. It could be worse, but it shows that there is a discrepancy with what they're showing on one MyFXBook section or page in a different place compared to what's actually on their website. So this means that if they're manipulating the results on one side, on one of these, and I was able to show you the warning signs with the drawdown and not updating and using the broker, all these things means that they could also be manipulating the results on this side, and they can do whatever they want because they're using Fortrade, which is another broker that is not very well known. Now, I haven't actually researched on Fortrade to see if it has a white label and all that kind of stuff as well, but it just means that there is a discrepancy between their stats, and it should be something that is a red flag and that you should avoid. So you can check all of their stats as well. You can see here another warning sign. If you go to some of their older results, you can see here that this one had 43% drawdown. And what about the profits and withdrawals? Okay, that's something. But it stopped updating August 24th. That was almost a month ago. And the issue here is when you're looking at stats and when you're looking at something that has stopped updating, and the balance shows as $241,000. It doesn't show as zero. When it does not show as zero, that means that that this account probably blew up. It either blew up or something else happened, and they don't want you to see that $240,000 was actually lost at this broker called Fortrade. So they're going to just show you that it stopped updating with a 2.1% profit, even showed trades that were currently in the Japanese yen 824, and then it just was gone. And there was no withdrawals that were posted bad sign. And this goes for all of their older accounts, and you can even just check here. Let's just check a random one. This one was last updated February 5th. No, the balance shows there's 100,000 left in there, and no withdrawals. It doesn't say zero. It doesn't say the balance is zero. So therefore, this account likely blew up as well. I mean, look at the drawdown, 99.41%. So that's another hint that this one is not looking great. Okay, so not trusted, just not a great way to invest your money into somebody that has a lot of warning signs and a lot of inconsistencies with their stats and the brokers that they're using, okay? So the next one I wanted to follow, and that's going to be the end of the video today, is this GTR trade 01. So these guys are a little bit different strategy, and they're using a broker called Arena Trade. So Arena Trade, I checked them out. I actually found a review, and it's a 1-star rating at these guys, saying that they're just too small, they're not regulated, and if you actually try to join this this broker, sign up, so you have to send them a message in order to join their broker. That's a little bit interesting. You can't even create an account right off the bat, which is very unusual, and something that I would find as a warning sign. And I don't know if this broker can be white labeled or not, but their webpage is not looking great, and how you need to send them a message to create an account is also something that is likely a warning sign. Okay, so that is pretty much what I wanted to cover in regards to avoiding scams like this in the past. You should be looking for their monthly profit. If it's too high, okay, that's something that you should just be aware of. 2 to 5% is possible, but look at the drawdown. The drawdown for 2 to 5% a month, and the average drawdown for that could be upwards of 50%. It could be pretty high. I look for around 15% drawdown on my trading stats when I'm looking for a profit of 2 to 5% a month. So what that looks like for my trading stats right here is I have 15% profit right here. My drawdown is 9.9%. I'm using an account size of $31,000, and I have my trading stats right here at the bottom. So since June of 2021, and my stats are updated every 5 minutes. And so the last one was updated 3 minutes ago. Okay, so these are more legitimate types of trading stats where you can receive 3 to 5% a month. But you also have to know who you're trading with. You have to, does the person have a face to their company? Are they using an algorithm? Are other people using this algorithm? Is there a tech support? Do you know of companies that are using the algorithm? All these kind of things are things that you should be doing in your research when spending money, when actually sending money to a company or buying an algorithm or investing in an individual. You should do your research and don't be naive in your approach because trading is risky, and more people lose money than make money in this industry. I predict about 90% of people lose money because of poor education and not enough research into what they're investing in. So avoiding pitfalls like ROFX are possible. And you can always check by basically following a list of what's their drawdown, what's their profit, is their MyFX book legitimate if it's updating, what brokers are they using, are they using a white label, if it's is it possible that they're using a white label, is their broker regulated, is it do they have a face to their company? Do they have an active support or Discord group? All of these things are things that you should be looking for when investing in this market, because we already, as individuals, have enough going against us when it comes to profiting over the long term. So do your research, find the people that are trustworthy, and hopefully your chances of success are much higher.